Hi there, my name's Ryan Rastall. I'm a PGA professional and the equipment expert for Golfshake.com. We're here in the sunny surroundings of Amendoeira Golf Resort in the Algarve in Portugal, and today I'm going to be helping you to hit your irons better. So, as I tell all of my pupils, if you want to improve, you've got to understand your golf game first and understand how to fix it. So today I'm going to show you a few quick ways you can have a look at certain tendencies you may have and also how to improve them. So to do that, I've got some face tape for the irons, but you can also use some of the foot spray you can get that leaves a mark as well. I've also got a black Sharpie pen, which I'll show you what I'm going to use that for in a second, and also just my alignment stick, as always, to help you to aim at the target properly. So why have I got these on the golf club? Well, the face tape is going to tell me where I'm striking the ball, okay? So if we're striking the ball towards the toe all the time, or the heel all the time, or high on the face, low on the face, it's going to tell us certain things and certain characteristics about your golf game. Now, fundamentally, it can tell you that the clubs that you've got maybe need looking at from a custom fitting perspective, because if we see toe strikes a lot, generally that shows us length is maybe a little bit out. We might need to lengthen your clubs. Heel strikes the opposite and all over the place, you know, we could need some adjustment there as well. But fundamentally, if we're striking it out the toe all the time, it can be simple things in setup that we can change as well. So I'm going to hit a few shots. I'm going to leave some marks on the face tape here and have a bit of a talk to you about what I'm looking for. So just normal 7-iron. Let's just hit a couple and see where they end up. I'll just hit one more. Okay, so two half decent shots there, but if we look at the tape on the face, we can see that the strikes are fairly central, maybe just towards the toe of the club a little bit. So the second one particularly was a little bit toey. So as I've hit that, it's a little bit higher out the face. I mean, I tend to hit down on the ball quite a lot, so generally my bad shots do come more towards the top of the blade than anything else. I hit a very high ball flight, which can be accentuated a little bit by the strike moving towards the top of the club. The first one was a little bit lower, a bit more solid flight, but both, you know, more than acceptable shots. But what I can see from that is maybe I'm hitting a bit too much down on the ball, okay? So that's maybe something I can work on. It's definitely a trait that I know I have in my golf swing that can help, that I can help. So the other thing that I'm going to show you how to do is going to check, it's a bit of a way of you checking whether the lies on your golf clubs are right as well, okay? So we all know that if we don't get the right lie on our golf clubs, they can go all over the place. So this is a very quick way of you testing that. So I've just got one of the balls here and a black Sharpie pen. So I'm just going to draw a line down the center of that golf ball, a nice straight line. You can use one of the stencils if you like when you use it. So that's going to leave a nice solid line on the golf ball there. Now what I'm going to do is line this up so that the line is vertical and pointing towards the target, okay? So it's straight up in the air. Now, when I hit a shot with this club now, it's going to print that line on the club face. And what it's going to show me is where my face is in relation to that line when I've struck the ball, okay? So let me just hit this shot. Okay, pretty good shot, nice and straight, nice and high. So what we can see is that it's left a black mark on there. Now we can see it's pretty vertical, isn't it? Now, as a custom fitter, you'd expect my clubs to be fitted for me. And we can see there that with that vertical line that we've got, the lies are pretty good, okay? Yes, I've struck it a little bit out the toe again, but I'm just having one of those days, unfortunately. But we can certainly see that that line was nice and straight as I've hit it. This tape that I've got here actually shows us different levels of, if the line is angled in certain positions, then maybe we could look at an adjustment, and it sort of gives a bit of an indication as to what that adjustment should be. But generally we're looking at, if that line is dead straight, so nice and vertical on the face, the lies of the golf clubs are pretty good, okay? So that is another thing we can check. So to put your mind at rest before you go out there on the golf course, are we striking out the middle of the face? If not, there's some reasons why. And also, is that line nice and vertical? If it is, then generally your irons are probably going to be suited to you as well. I hope that helped. Okay, so starting the ball on target. For many people, this can be very difficult. And it comes down to timing, essentially. So with the body, the arms, the way the hands release through the shot. But I'm going to give you a very simple drill here that's going to help you work on it and hopefully help you sync the arms and body and hands up a little bit better so that when you go to the golf course, you're able to start the ball closer to where you want it to finish. Okay, so we can see very simple setup here. So I've got 2 alignment sticks, one to help with the alignment of my feet and body, the other on my target line. So those, you'll have heard the train track analogy before. So me standing on one and the ball to target line being the other. Now we've got the ball on that target line. We want it to start down the stick line, and it all comes down to how we time the club face. So when I set up, I would set up in my normal 7-iron position. So ball in the middle of the feet, gripping it in the normal place, and also trying to feel my weight a bit more 50-50. So all I'm going to do is a very short swing. So I'm going to just take the club back halfway, see if I can get that ball starting down that alignment stick line. Okay, so nice short backswing. Yeah, pretty good. So it started down the stick, stayed fairly straight, happy with that. So if I'm able to do that when I get to the range, and let's say 5-6 times out of 10, I'd be pretty happy with that. And what you can then do is maybe move up to hitting a slightly longer swing. So maybe 3/4 swing, get the hands up to the shoulder height and see if we can still get that ball starting down the stick. Yeah, pretty happy with that as well. Pretty good shot. This is the ultimate test. So once you're happy with that, you can do a 3/4 swing. You can get that ball starting down your stick line and you're happy with that. Let's go for a full swing and see if we can do it there. Yep, pretty good as well. So you can tell I do this drill a lot. It's one of the first ones I do when I practice all the time. And you should definitely have drills like this in your locker when you go in to practice your golf game. This is something I come back to time after time. And it's one that's really served me well, because when I'm playing poorly, my hands take over my golf swing and I really struggle to time the club face. This drill has helped me to improve my iron play, and I'm pretty sure it'll do the same for you. So there are obviously many reasons why we don't strike irons well, okay? So today I'm going to talk about a few little fundamental changes you can make to really increase your chances of hitting some good iron shots. Now, a lot of what goes wrong in people's golf swing starts from a poor setup. So we're going to go through the fundamentals of how to set up to hit good iron shots. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about what we do during the swing and how we encourage a decent strike on the ball. Okay, so let's talk about setup to start with. So I've got a 7-iron here. You can see it better from this face-on position. Now, I would hit 7-iron middle of your feet all the time, so middle of the stance. I've got an alignment stick here to help me with my target line, but we want the ball in the middle of your feet, okay? We want the weight feeling pretty much 50-50, maybe just favouring the left side a touch. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the people that I teach tend to, as they take the club back, the weight moves onto the right side and then they get stuck behind it. So they're almost in a position where they're trying to help the ball in the air. Sometimes won't take a divot and just take the ball very cleanly. So either thin it, or if they do make good contact, it tends to go really high and not go very far. So one way that you can help yourself to get through the shot better is to feel a little bit more weight stay on this left side. So I'm just going to hit a few little 3/4 swings now, and I would always encourage players to do this, because when you're swinging slower, you can actually feel what you're doing differently in your golf swing a little bit better than you can at full speed. So I'm just going to hit one now, 3/4 speed, and try and feel myself move onto the shot more, So get my weight through it, keep the handle forward and encourage more of a downward hit so I get the ball and then the turf. So that nice little divot that we're looking for, okay? So we're just going to hit a nice little 3/4 7-iron, short back. Okay, so we can hear the strike, but also you can see that I've taken the ball and then the club has carried on into the turf there where I've taken a divot. Nice lower flight, but more importantly, we could hear that strike was so much more consistent. Now, we're going to do that again, okay? So the reason we're doing this is, as I've said before, trying to encourage more of a downward strike on the ball, which is something that people just don't seem to get with irons, okay? And it's really important. So getting that weight shifting onto the left side and getting ahead of the ball. When we see all the best players in the world, when they're in the strike position, that weight tends to have started coming off the right side. The hands are forward, so we're taking some of the loft off, and they tend to initially start the ball much lower than most people that I coach, all right? So really affecting the loft on the club head and decreasing that in order to get it going through the turf better. So what we're going to do is feel that weight lean forward, 3/4 backswing, and really drive into the turf and get that flight that we're looking for. So you can see 2 there, pretty much exactly the same where I've gone into the turf and where it's exited the turf afterwards. So you can see that club going downwards. Try that drill when you're at the range working on your game, and you'll certainly find a difference in the way you strike it, the way your ball flight reacts, but also your accuracy. And who really can ask for more than that?